Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, your story titled, We Opened Our Relationship and Now I Might Regret It. And big shout out to Don for sending me this story. And guys, this story is about a guy. He is, I believe, 22, 23, early 20s, just finishing up college. He's been with his girl for 4 years. They're engaged. And long story short, his girl started talking about how she's been missing some things. Can you guess what? And pretty much he goes along with her idea of opening up their relationship, doing the polyamorous lifestyle, that bullcrap, because she's bi, never got to experience other women, and he allows her to do this. And wait till you see the giant shitstorm that goes on because of this. And by the way, you're going to see that not once does she hook up with one woman. They're all dudes. And I'm doing this story, guys, to show you the mess that this thing creates. How this does not work every time. It causes misery, causes pain. But there's also a point, guys, when I do these stories, and let's be honest, this is a men's channel. All the things I do are targeting towards men, helping men. That there's some guys that, honestly, they're that stupid. They have that much shit for brains, like this guy. They deserve what's coming to them. And so this story here, aside from the entertainment factor, from the Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 factor, the shock factor, is also an example of things what not to do. And how some guys deserve what's coming to them. Honestly, I want to help guys out. I really do. But some of them, they just deserve to learn the hard way for being that boneheaded. And also, the little thing of how when women don't respect you, bullshit happens. A man has to stand up for himself, draw boundaries, enforce boundaries, all that. When he doesn't, the amount of BS that can happen, you're going to see here. And also, in this story, you're going to see, once again, why I named this channel, They Did What? Trust me. So for you guys that are watching this now, say, maybe I don't want to watch this because I don't like to hear about these simp guys. Just watch. Just listen. It's entertaining. You're going to learn some stuff, and you're going to want to slap the shit out of this guy because I certainly will. So it starts off, says here, me and my fiancée were happily together for 4 years before she started expressing interest in being poly. She's bi and never had much experience with girls, so she's felt like she's wanted to get a girlfriend of her own. At that point, she felt guilty for even considering it, but I encouraged it. Smack. That's when you break up with her, okay? And another smack, and I'm not going to do it, for getting together with a gal who's bi. Because they're always going to be wondering what things are going to be like on the other side. Bad idea. And she manipulated you into encouraging it. She didn't feel guilty for shit. I saw no issue with her having a girlfriend as long as stuff with us didn't change. Famous last words, amigo. Things are going to change. And by the way, she already had people lined up, guaranteed. But she made it clear that she had no interest in sharing me because she was selfish. Red flag number 1. Hang on here. You're supposed to share her, but she can't share you? Okay. Big red flag number 1, which I ignored. I didn't think it'd be an issue because what guy wouldn't be open to an idea of potential threesome, right? That conversation ended without her realizing I was truly okay with it, and she felt like a weight was lifted from her shoulders. After that, I graduated college a year early, so she was left alone. A young 21-year-old girl alone on campus with your blessing to do whatever she wanted with anybody else. What could go wrong? I couldn't visit her because I work weekends and such, but we did try phone sex. That was fun, but she'd forgotten her toys at home, so we went 2 months without finishing. I can't say without a strong toy or the real thing. This left her pent up, leading to the start of exploring of others. That was not an accident. He says here were our rules. The rules to the open relationship. The rules that she no doubt wrote. First, we agreed to always have equal rights. Always communicate when stuff's close to happening or when a new person of interest is making way. Give updates when doing anything spicy or changing locations. Condoms always, since she refuses to take BC, birth control. She refuses to take birth control. Oh my God. And she wants to have an open relationship. Good Lord. This guy's a moron. We are top priority. Veto is allowed. Essentially, we can ban each other for seeing a specific person. threesomes allowed, and specifics on certain sexual acts. Okay, those are the rules. This was widely understood, followed, and modified as we experienced things. I like how he says we. Well, as the story goes on, we, as in he, didn't experience a whole lot, but she experienced a whole lot of sausage. To start off, she found someone like an hour drive from the college, and they chatted and had phone sex until she was comfortable meeting him. I felt extremely nervous, anxious, worried, and excited in this moment. Smack! You're excited because your girl's going to be piped down by some other dude. What the hell's the matter with you? Now, obviously this guy's a cuck or something, but Jesus. We both did. Here's where the first issues arises. Now listen to this. In our 4+ years together, she expressed from the get-go that she loved, he's saying this, loved anal. I've never known a girl that claimed she loved that. We had one successful experience, and she was all about any hole whenever you want. Here's the catch. She's lactose intolerant, but addicted to cheese and ice cream. If she's lactose intolerant, and you all know what that means, I'd be staying as far away from her fucking chocolate factory as I can. Can you imagine how disgusting that would be? So that understandably, it didn't happen very much, except she gassed me and teased me about it. What does he mean by that? She needed to practice in order to do it comfortably. She promised me over and over again, getting me excited just to not even attempt using lacted pills, or just refraining from dairy. When she'd finally be good down there, she'd be too tight because she never wanted to let me relax her, just overly eager. This went on for years, so I gave up after being frustrated being led on that for no reason. Fast forward back to this first guy, and he goes, I want to make your ass gape. On this very same day that I'd asked her to try out a new toy for anal or video, normal for us. And she immediately declined with, it's a bad anal day, sorry. I told you can't make this shit up. Which is literally always the response. That's her usual response. It's a bad anal day, honey, sorry. But he texted her that, and she immediately starts anal play. This will repeat itself with most of the guys she met afterwards in different forms. So here's what's going on. She has no respect for her boyfriend, Fiancée. No attraction for him, obviously, but she's staying with him because obviously she doesn't want to be alone. And the stuff that he wants to try, she always has an excuse, which honestly she's doing him a favor, given that she's lactose intolerant, to do that stuff down in her personal chocolate factory. But every other guy gets the Hershey Highway action. This dude made her wear a butt plug. She's literally never practiced for me or give up after a day of no dairy, but random guy says so, and she stopped for a week while practicing. She'd never wear the plug for me or prep for even 30 seconds, but wore the plug for a 67-minute drive to him. Turned out that he was catfishing her and just led her on for the phone sex. She went to her friends and wanted to immediately dead all poly attempts, but I convinced her that one guy being an idiot shouldn't discourage her goals, especially on the first try. Smack! She actually, in the moment, said she didn't want to do it anymore because she got catfished, and this dude is encouraging her to continue doing this. What the hell's the matter with him? The next guy was cool, and she ended up giving a BJ the first time they met up. She didn't like it because she felt used, and he never replied. That's what open relationships are. You're going to be used. Chad and Tyrone aren't going to stick around and listen to your hopes and dreams and goals for life. They want to get their BJs and run. There were honestly a lot of BJ meetups while she began enjoying the freedom. But then she met this one guy who seemed super chill and cared about her pleasure too. So she was okay with him going all the way. The first person besides me made her come that day. I was still very anxious, nervous, excited, and more with every meet. He spit in her mouth without asking, so she ended that, since she's not into that. Good Lord. Told you guys about this video. After failed attempts with others for 2-ish months and zero action for me, notice zero action for him. Oh, by the way, remember the whole beginning of the story when she said she's bi and wants to experience other women or have a girlfriend? Call me crazy, but I don't recall one girl in this story so far. They're all dudes. So she was totally BSing him, and this dumb motherfucker went along with this. You'd think he'd figure this out at this point. After failed attempts at others for 2-ish months and zero action for me, we ended up on Reddit on R4R groups. Here the next issue came up. I no longer seem to exist. If I, a guy, made a post for fun, I get one reply if I'm lucky. But girls get legit hundreds of people flocking for fun. She really enjoyed the people finding process, attention and validation. So naturally, she stopped replying to me and prioritized the guys that kept her attention. I'd only get an LOL left undelivered or left unread. And we had each other's Reddit accounts for transparency, so I literally got all notifications. So I knew she was texting others. This is where jealousy arose. Well, no shit, you're not going to get a lot of attention, but she's going to get bombarded with attention. That's how it works. While that was happening, she was still talking to a guy from the beginning phases that seemed cool but flaky. The way she'd laugh with him or OTP or while texting him, or how she'd literally stop whatever she was doing or saying with me and text him was annoying. Because you're nothing to her. You're a joke. And you know what? This guy is a fucking joke. She really liked him, and naturally you're enticed by new and exciting experience, so I understood. Smack. Nice guy. Of course you understood. I understood until him disappearing for a week and coming back with, sorry, I've been on Elden Ring nonstop. I beat it twice this week already, LOL. Turned into an effing lashing out at me when I did the smallest thing wrong. Example, I was driving and missed a turn after she told me to make a right. Simple fix, right? No, she starts yelling at me and gets extremely upset. Best part, I loved Elden Ring, but because he constantly blew her off to play it for days, she hated me even mentioning it. This is when, normally, I would continue on about telling the guy to end it with her. She has no respect for you. But this guy has no respect for himself. This guy, he obviously is a glutton for punishment. He's obviously a cuck, amongst many other things, and likes being treated like shit, likes being all these things. Obviously, it turns him on, which is, in my opinion, fucking pathetic. And yet, he's complaining. He's trying to make it like he's a cool boyfriend, but he's complaining. So now she's barely texting unless she needs something like emotional support to vent, and she's lashing out at me. After 3 months of being poly, I finally discovered FetLife and posed for fun and friendship. I can't imagine this dumbass posing pictures for these different websites. I met an amazing girl, and after texting, we ended up hitting it off and I planned a Batman movie date, which honestly went really well. Meanwhile, my fiancée was kind of doing better about texting, but when she was back in the seeking mindset, it went right back to not existing. I hated that and didn't do it to her at all. I mentioned it. She apologized and yet did it again. Due to my schedule and an accident I had, I couldn't see the girl I met, which again, for months, but we did stay in touch. Meanwhile, my fiancée stopped her meetups to focus on me, since I literally almost died. While in the hospital, I unloaded all this on her, and she felt really bad. Yeah, this girl I can tell feels really bad. She paused on stuff for a tad, even though she permissibly attempted to meet up with a flaky man again. Guess what happened? He didn't even show up and never replied or opened her messages. In a way, these boneheads are meant for each other. I consoled her with this and said how I was tired of him making her cry. I wanted her to stop seeing him because she quite literally would give him a million chances, and they were talking for 5 months at this point. She was feeling gutted on me nearly dying on top of this BS and distracted herself by meeting up with people again and resuming her BJs with very occasional SCX with others. That's her way to catering to you in the hospital. Anybody else that had a brain, unlike this guy with shit for brains, I'd tell him to dump her and move on and learn from it. But this guy actually enjoys it. The not texting issue returned once again. We end up at the same job, and I said no effing to my coworkers, especially since she had said the same when I jokingly asked months prior. And it turns out that she effed and sucked another one, but I overlooked it. Smack. This guy deserves way more smack. I could do a whole smacking video just smacking this guy, and I would have great pleasure in doing so, but it wouldn't do anything to him. Of course she was effing and sucking your coworkers because you didn't want that. She's punishing you for your weakness, and she enjoys it. Very early in our poly journey, she decided that we'd not go for people under 20 years old. We were in our early 20s, because that first guy was 19. Guess what? She ended up blowing lots of 19-year-olds, but kept saying no more, LOL. Then another girl replied to me. She was 18. I proved that she was legal, and she seemed cool. Fiancée said no, and I complied. Of course you complied. You're that guy. Then she sucks yet another under 20-year-old dick. Huh, who could have seen that coming? So I find a 40-year-old woman who's married. Unethical, I know. Yeah, it is unethical, jackass. But if she's cheating anyways, it might as well be someone else, if not me, right? Well, Fiancée didn't want me to contribute to being a homewrecker. She gave the whole "I'm telling you how I feel, but do what you want" BS. When I expressed, well, I don't care if she's married. So after weeks of planning, I ended it. Because if you say no and I do it, then you'll do the same in the future. This guy is such an ass, now, amongst many of the reasons, but now he starts hooking up with a married woman, knowing well she's married, and not caring about being a homewrecker or anything. There was also concern for her doing things with others that she'd never do with me. Of course she's going to do things with other guys she wouldn't do with you because she sees you as a weak bitch. She wants to get the attention and validation from men that she sees actually as men. Much like the anal issue earlier. This guy keeps coming back to the butt sex. I'd always wanted to try things with her. I'd ask her to get sloppy and other specifics, but she'd be all shy with me. I'm an elaborative type and always wanted to try car fun. She'd always get shy and change her mind or say no. Or say, okay, just to change her mind anyways. But guess where all those BJs and much sex happened? Her car. She'd do all the stuff I had to practically beg her to even consider. Well, there you go. Practically beg. Or in his case, I guarantee he was begging. She felt ugly and self-conscious with me, despite me always telling her how beautiful she is and literally always tending to her needs. And yet when other guys demanded or asked, she's at the ready. I expressed that to her multiple times, and she essentially said how it's just easier with them because they don't really know me. It's honestly undesirable. It's honestly understandable to me, but I now expect her to not want to do anything we've ever discussed trying since we met. To top it off, we literally haven't had phone sex since the beginning. I don't even care about that anymore, but she was so surprised when I told her. Anytime I asked her for it, you already knew at this point. She rejected or something came up. Yeah, she does it with people she talks to whenever she's in the mood. You can't make this shit up. He continues. Now we're off to what encouraged me to write this at all. She had taken a medical leave, so she was finishing her last semester this past August. After I dropped her off, I was finally able to move freely post-accident. So I saw that girl again that I had been speaking to for about 6 months at that point. About 8 months into poly, she had also found guys upstate, so we were cool. I had my fun. My first time having SEX with someone else. After all this, he's finally having SEX with some other chick for the first time, even though his fiancée is the BJ queen of whatever state they're in. I'd given head to someone prior to that, but it was only my success. Did he just say he gave head to somebody else? I'm assuming he means oral to another woman, but I would be surprised if he was doing that to another dude. We had a great time, and I felt so comfortable with her. Like surprisingly comfortable. She expressed that as well. I told my fiancé about it, and that was cool. We met up again, and a week or two later, and my fiancé got bad news. So she called, and I stepped away. She was crying and feeling like she needed me, yet felt bad since I never interrupted her. I love how he always talks about her feeling bad for this and feeling bad for that, and he buys it every time. She doesn't feel bad for shit. I consoled her, and before we hung up, she said to text me since I have my smartwatch on and will notice the call again. She refused to call out of discomfort. So I continued with my friends with benefits and periodically checked my watch just in case. She texted me before calling, so I was just looking for new messages. I got one about her spiraling and needed me again, but I didn't feel my watch vibrate and mistakenly notification from one prior call to her. So I only replied after leaving just to abide by our rules of saying I was leaving. She was extremely offended and felt that I was ignoring her and didn't care about her in her time of need. What a little drama queen. I was confused as fuck since I didn't realize those messages were post-phone call until she expressed her anger and all. I admitted fault, said sorry, moved on. Of course you did. People miss calls. They happen. They miss messages. They happen. She just wants you to do whatever she says, and meanwhile she can go have all the fun she wants, and you're more than happy to oblige. Fast forward a few weeks, and I'm seeing this girl again. The Batman girl. My fiancée is bothered that I'm seeing her so frequently. She felt jealous I can be with this girl, and she can give me everything my fiancé can while she's stuck upstate. I was unfortunately unable to visit her because of money and her hectic schedule, so I started seeing her less. His fiancée, who's the BJ queen of the state, is having a problem with him seeing this particular one woman. This is how it always goes. Now the next issue came up. Oh, because there wasn't enough issues with you people? I was with my friends with benefits for 6 hours and didn't text my fiancée until I left. How dare you? We never discussed texting in long stretches unless changing locations, so I was confused as to why she had a huge issue and felt neglected. To her, that was a huge deal. Okay, I apologized and said I'd do better, which I did. If I didn't think these assholes weren't perfect for each other, I'd say break up, but they give us entertainment. Now here's the huge problem. It's always funny, and you have these stories from these young guys and gals who describe these huge problems they're having, and you live long enough and experience real problems in life, you're like, shut the fuck up. Your huge problem is nothing. Last week I saw her again, and I was falling asleep at her place. My mom already gave her permission to stay out, so all I needed to do was update my fiancé. Excuse me. She recently officially moved upstate, so she felt lonely and invited a guy. Okay, cool. That's quite normal at this point. Well, I'm sure that guy's going to get a BJ. She normally joke if SEX wasn't on the table, and then suddenly it happened. So we effed, LOL, followed by my curiosity and how it went. I returned that. So I'm spending the night, LOL. She replied with, oh, okay, have fun. And I immediately fell asleep, and I was literally half asleep at this point. The next day, she was livid. Literally wanting me to stop seeing my friends with benefits altogether. Saying how I don't know about her and how she's not a priority. I didn't think it was a big deal, but she hated that I told her by joking about it. I said how I didn't think it'd be an issue, and she said anytime you think that's an issue, that got me very upset. Some of these things are hard to read the way he wrote this, guys. Drama, drama, drama. And by the way, this poly open relationship thing does not work. She was all for this, and suddenly she's saying how she's so close to enacting the veto rule. I really like this girl. We've been getting along really well since the day we met, and both really like each other. Then why don't you be with her? Seriously, dipshit. There's no fucking drama with her. At least there's going to be less drama than this asshole. But he likes the drama. He likes the turmoil. He likes being treated like shit. He gets off on it. But now I feel like if I pursue a more serious relationship with her, it'll be the equivalent of building a house with no foundation. I feel like these 3 issues weren't that deep at all and easily fixable. Just like how I told you of the sleepover. Okay, I'd say it in a better way. Just like not being updated every couple hours. Okay, I'll text you more frequently. I get it. I thought of her side afterwards. But what about me? She had all these experiences with guys and treated me in ways you just discovered, and yet what I did or didn't do is all bad and means she just needs to go. Now she has a heightened sense of jealousy. Yeah. His girlfriend, fiancé, is hooking up with every freaking dude in town in the state. And she's not going all the way. They're definitely getting BJs. But God forbid this guy has a girl and goes a few hours without responding to her text. Well, it's the end of the freaking world as we know it. But he's the dumb bitch that put up with this. It says, I don't get it. It frustrates me. After everything this past year, you want to do that. We spoke about it and I cleared some of her concerns, but that doesn't clear any of mine. Where's concern from my side of things? Why say you're okay with all this if you're just going to get jealous? It all feels so unstable. Because she is unstable, and you're unstable, and you like the turmoil, you like the drama. So if you're not going to do anything about it, like end it with her, stop fucking complaining. You're on here whining and bitching like he's doing what women do. Well, they'll bitch and bitch and bitch and complain, but never actually take any action, do anything. You know? I'm literally okay with almost anything and she's being so restrictive. She even says how she feels that I don't care and I'm too complacent by being okay with a lot. How the F does that make sense, though? Let me read that again. She says she feels that I don't care and I'm too complacent by being okay with a lot. How the F does that make sense, though? Yeah, she's annoyed that he's going along with everything, but by him going along with everything, she's annoyed. This was literally your idea, and now that it's finally going well for me too, it's a problem. I don't get it. Then you suddenly have a problem with me not having a problem. Make it make sense. Now I feel like the moment I say X instead of Y, she just feels offended and hurt because I should have thought about it to be okay. So I think I might be regretting this. Dude, you're a fucking moron. There's no other way to put this, and this is just a story about a guy who's a fucking moron. These relationships, open marriages, poly things don't work. And you go along with this, and she's hooking up other dudes and getting sausage from other dudes, and you don't care. All these guys, and you finally put one girl you like, and she has a problem with that, and stirring up all sorts of drama, and you're playing into this, you deserve what you get. End of story. But I think this guy, honestly, I think this guy is a cuck. I think he likes the idea of his girl getting plied by other dudes. He's probably attracted to other dudes, probably turns him on, thinking about other guys doing his girl. And no matter what, he just keeps putting up with more and more BS. If it was any other guy that had any self-respect, I'd say break up with her the second you did that. She brought it up, all that, find another girl. But in this case, no, he actually enjoys this. And remember, early on, the first meetup didn't work out, and he encouraged her to keep doing it. And by the way, this whole thing started by her saying that she missed opportunities being with another woman, and she wanted to get a girlfriend. We didn't hear anything about her being with a girl. So guys, like I said, you can't make this shit up. Don't involve yourself with these open relationships, open marriages, poly things. They don't work. Your girl brings it up, walk away. Unless, of course, you're one of these guys like this that has shit for brains and actually gets turned on by this. He's not saying he gets turned on by this because he probably knows that he'll get torn apart in the comment section, but that's what he does otherwise. And also, women don't respect weakness. You act weak, you act like a bitch, you're going to get treated like a bitch. Anyway, guys, for those of you who continue to listen to this whole story, lots of lessons here. Have some self-respect. Don't freaking put up with this bullshit. Don't allow these types of things. And you can see how selfish she is and childish. And how he makes such a big deal about this whole thing. They're both childish. Okay? They're young. They're idiots. And they're early 20s, but they have the maturity level of a bunch of junior high kids. But yet, they're technically legal adults. So, alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this story here. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.